Megan, thank you for joining me here today to talk a little bit about the tax ramifications of renting out your real property. I have a property that I'd like to rent out. Can you tell me a little bit about the rental rules and tax ramifications of that?
Sure. As is often the case in the tax law, the details kind of drive the answer to your question. So, is it a second home that you plan to rent? Will you also be using it? How long do you plan to rent it for? These are the types of questions we would need answered to provide more information.
Okay, well, let's assume that it's my personal residence and that I'd like to rent it out during graduation weekend.
If the property is going to be rented for less than 14 days in a calendar year, there's no reporting requirements, no income or deduction to report, but it is still important to maintain good records and keep track of the number of days rented just in case it ever were to be questioned.
Can you tell me a little bit about what type of records I should be maintaining?
Sure. So as the renter, you are responsible for maintaining records, but the format of those records is largely up to you and whatever works best for you. You can maintain an Excel file or a QuickBooks file, and then you just want to be tracking the income coming in associated with the rental period and then all related rental expenses. So there can be expenses for the property, such as real estate taxes, insurance, repairs and maintenance, that type of thing, but then also rental specific expenses such as sheets or towels.
I have a couple clients that want to start renting through Airbnb. Can you tell me a little bit about how that works and how that activity would be reported on their tax return?
Yep, so Airbnb is just a marketing and rental platform that facilitates the rental, but essentially the activity is going to drive the reporting. So if you're just renting a property, it'll be picked up on Schedule E of your personal tax return. If you are providing other services such as meals or transportation, then it's going to be reported on Schedule C. Either way, you want to consider the tax that would be due on that income and consider estimated payments.
Can you tell me how estimated payments work?
So with income like this, there would be no withholding. So you'd want to take a look at your expected income as well as your expected tax bracket and calculate the amount of tax that would be due. And then that's due into the government in quarterly installments.
Megan, is there anything else that I should be thinking about before I start renting out my property?
Yeah, the last thing to mention would just be that a lot of state and local municipalities are collecting occupancy taxes on these type of short-term rentals. So you want to make sure that you're aware of what the rules are. Sometimes the rental platform will collect that for you, but that's not always the case. You just want to make sure you know if you're responsible for collecting it and remitting that tax.
Megan, thank you.
Thank you.
Contact us to learn more.